There's supposed to be some racism going on in Idaho, man. Let's see, man. Let's see. It's election season, man. White liberals is listen. These white liberals ain't playing, man. These white liberals are not playing. They they're not playing around. They're listen. I told you conservatives, Republicans are gonna get their ass kicked in November. White liberals ain't playing around. They pulling racism out of everywhere to energize the base, man. I think officially this week is when election season started because now everybody's racist and everything is racist and everything racist is going on. Nothing about Memphis and all the shootings down near the NCAA games there. No comments from anybody about that. Well, this in Idaho, where no black person ever gets killed. No black person ever gets killed in Idaho.
We had several instances of some kind of racial hate.
She's lying. Who can tell she's lying already? Press one if you can tell she's lying from the way from the tells her body language tells. Press one if you can tell she's lying. Yeah, so what? Coeur d'Alene was home with some Aryan Brotherhood. So what? In Memphis, they shooting niggas down by the fucking NCAA games. We covered that yesterday. In Memphis, they shooting niggas down by the NCAA games, killing people. No comments from anybody in with the NAACP. I mean the NCAA.
We had several instances of some kind of racial.
Look at her looking up. Look at her looking up. She's imagining
some kind of racial.
Look. This ain't something that happened. This is something she's imagining. I'm trying to catch her, man. She imagining this shit, man. She imagining this shit, man. She imagining this shit. This shit ain't really happening. This shit she about to say is a lie, man. She imagining this shit, man. This bitch lying, man. Coeur d'Alene. This bitch lying, man. And listen, I'm not saying racism don't exist because that's how black people talk. So you saying racism don't exist? Like, damn. You saying racism don't exist? Ah, man, ain't nobody saying racism don't exist, man. Ain't nobody saying racism don't exist. I'm just saying this bitch lying, man. Look at her. She trying to imagine. When you really seeing something in your mind's eye, when you really seeing something in your mind's eye, you ain't got to look up to the left. Look up to the right. You want to look up to the left. She looking up to the right. She lying.
We had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us. And you think in our worlds, in athletics and in university settings, it's shocking. In a like there's so much diversity on a college campus, and so you're just not exposed to that very often. And so when you are, it's like and you have people say, man, I can't believe that happened. But, uh, racism is real and it happens. And it's, it's awful. And so for our,
Who believes this whore, man? Who believes her, man? I want anybody that believes her, man. Listen, I'm about to drop the link. Anybody that believes her, come up, man. I need one person that believes her, so we can have a discussion, man. I just want one person who believes her to come up, man. One person who believes this woman. Is there anybody? Is there anybody who believes her, man? Shout out to Baby King, man. He says, take the $20 challenge. Yeah, man. Take the $20 challenge, man. Only place you gonna get this, man. Anybody believes her, man. please, please let me see how many likes we got. We need 200 likes to drop the link. We got 167, man. Give me them 33 more likes so I can drop the link, man. Everybody hit the like button so we get these 33 more likes so I can drop the link. I want one person to come up tell me they believe this woman, man. And I'm not and listen, the way it's the way she talking like a liar. God damn it, we faced racism today in Idaho. This person did that. It was here. They did it. Da 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 da. She sounds so unsure. She sounds like it's like somebody made her say this, or like she's now she lying and she deep into her lie. She don't know she can't get out of it because she already started lying, and now she got to go ahead with the lie. And she's a terrible liar. She's a horrible liar. And we're seeing a horrible liar lie. That's what I think. In my opinion, we're looking at a horrible liar lie.
we had several instances of some kind of racial uh, hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us. Uh, and you think in our worlds, in athletics and in university settings, it's shocking. Um, in a like there's so much diversity on a college campus, and so you're just not
Bitch, what happened, man? This ain't if something happened. Look, last night, man, we did the show, man. The show was great. Well, 2 nights ago we did the show. The show was great. I fell asleep. While I fell asleep, I played a copyright video. They shut the stream down. We switched to Rumble. Had a great show on Rumble, just fucking around, not really serious, but just watching Twitter fights and shit because we were on Rumble. And then we ended the show. That's how you tell a story of something that actually happened. Press 1. When something actually happened, you can just tell that shit. You can just say it. You don't be
we had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us. And you think in our worlds, in athletics and in university,
in our world. Listen to this.
in our worlds,
Yo, man.
and you think in our worlds, 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 in athletics and in university settings, it's shocking. You think in our worlds, in athletics and in our and you think in our worlds, and you think in our worlds, and you think in our worlds, and you think in our worlds,
Oh shit, man. Yo, why you gotta lie, man? Racism is real, right? Racism exists, right? It's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. Why you gotta lie, man? Why you gotta lie? If it's everywhere, just shout out to Don McKee, man. He says, I spent weeks in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho as a sun man, and everyone was always super nice. Yeah, white people are hella nice, man. Niggas be looking at you all funny and shit. Niggas don't speak. Niggas don't speak. Niggas look at you funny. Niggas be acting all hard and shit. Nigga, you ain't hard. Nigga, you wasn't hard in your town. You came to this little white town. Now you acting hard and shit. Nigga came to a little white town. Now he hard all of a sudden and shit. White people super nice, man. I always have great small talk with white people. White people are the kings of small talk. Press 1. Nobody does small talk like white people, man. White people are the kings of small talk, man. You see some white people in public, they gonna give you some small talk, man. What is it? Oh yeah, let me drop the link, man. Let me drop this link, man. Let me drop this link, man. Racism is everywhere, but we gotta lie about it, man. Please, one of you people that come up, please tell me that you that you believe this shit. Duke the counter. What's up, man? Who are you, man?
You see who I am, sir.
Uh-oh. Man, hold on,
Wait,
man.
is that Linwood?
Now, I would like to read you something before we have this conversation about what the white person is saying. According to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., every minority and every people has its share of opportunists, traitors, freeloaders, and escapists. And that would include you, sir. Now, let's move on to the conversation at hand. Now, this white person, now, I didn't hear the reports about the white supremacist doing things to her basketball club. I have to get more information. But if she is saying,
you think in our worlds,
pause that, please. Now,
in athletics and
pause that, please.
in university settings,
Comes up here and gives demands.
Pause that, please. Now, depending on now, what she's saying. Well, hold on. What she's saying is now. What she's saying is now she's a white person saying this statement. Then she's seen it for herself that a racial incident took place. Now, I don't believe in this whole diversity crap because what is diversity? When most of your college campuses.
Diversity is not what you have on the gun memorial. That's what it's not, I think.
Go ahead, man. Yeah, man. I think this guy's he's trolling, but y'all go ahead.
Wait a minute. I'm not trolling if it's my real face on the screen. I am who you're talking to. Okay. This is not a troll. This is not a game.
Hey,
This
I
is a
gotta
serious
go.
conversation.
Hold on. I gotta let you. Hold on. You gotta let me speak, man. I'm letting you troll, man.
Then speak. Then speak like a mature adult and not a clown.
Hey, eat him up. I gotta go get my wife some water right quick, man. Eat him up, guys,
Oh,
for me.
by the way, tell your whore I said hello. Tell your whore I said hello.
Classy as always.
He done, man. He done, man.
He's got
No,
nothing.
no, bring him
But
up. Bring
I
him
would
up.
love to see you take him to the gun memorial, because that's one thing I've never seen anybody put to him. It's like, how come everybody on here is a goddamn neighbor?
Yeah, man. Go ahead. I'll be right back, man. Hold on.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Hat?
Not much, man. Been
Hey,
traveling.
nice. How was that looking for you?
Well, it was in Florida, so it was sort of for work and stuff. So,
Nice.
but
Nice.
I do love the great state of Florida, honestly.
The
I
Sunshine
have to
State?
say I like it a little bit more than Illinois.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. You know, at least the parts that are not as well, how can you say diverse, maybe?
Well, I mean, as long as it's not one particular diverse aspect, really,
Yeah.
it's generally speaking pretty much okay. Even the hombretos down there are keeping it pretty chill. There's really only one group of people that seems to be causing most of the problem, unless you count those like gliders beating somebody up in St. Augustine the other day. I was actually passing through St. Augustine not too, when I was there.
Kind of
So
like Chicago, huh? It sounds like you just described Chicago to me, dude.
yeah, I think
I think you're onto something.
Chicago might be like heaven on earth if it weren't for a particular aspect for it.
Well, that's kind of how you describe Florida, dude. Hey, dude, I was having a thought recently, right? And I wanted to say it to you in particular, right? So get this, brother. I was watching the news the other day, right? And as you know, because you're over here too, every day throughout the day, there's like robbery sprees, right? Where these crews are like going around and robbing people, like in Spurs, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
aside from like the actual news of the day. That's just sort of like a
it's
quota,
like a
like the
sidebar.
death count in Vietnam or
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
So I was watching it, and they were, you know how they give you the map, and it's like it gives you like where they hit, and one yet again it was in Glider and on Beto neighborhoods, and I was thinking, dude, I was like, wow, I don't think I've once seen that occur in Pakistan done by, for sure, not Glider kids, but not even on Burrito kids, dude. Have you ever seen that?
Wait, one more time. I think I missed what you said there at the beginning.
So as I was watching the news and watching the map of how they hit Glider neighborhoods and on Burrito neighborhoods, right? We all know that it's Sun Kids doing it, right? Is
Yeah.
that fair to say? And I had a thoughts. It came to me. I've never seen that map in Blackistan where on Burrito kids are doing it. Or Glider kids, obviously. You get what I mean?
What rating different neighborhoods like
They you don't see it. You don't see Glider kids or on
not
Burrito
really.
kids do these
Chicago.
like
What the one glider that I ever remember seeing that did a carjacking in Chicago was that glider teen who recently like carjacked the old woman or something. Do you remember that?
mm, vaguely. But
But the
what I'm
other like
hinting,
nine
what I'm
million nine hundred ninety nine
yeah.
thousand nine hundred ninety nine were Sun teens.
But what I'm hinting at is the fact that you never see Glider kids or on Burrito kids really target black people, dude. You don't see it, bro. Am I wrong?
Well, it's the same reason you wouldn't like. Why attack a hard target if you could attack a soft one, or at least a relatively softer one? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like it seems like low. Uh, you're extracting little from it, and you're exerting probably more effort than it's worth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all I'm saying is, it wasn't. I just had a thought. It was a moment, right? It
But
was
you're right. I
like
mean, yeah.
you
The
don't
fact
see it. You
is,
don't
like, they're
see it.
not ever saying who is actually. They don't put those maps up there like, wow, there's a lot of Negro children attacking every other
No,
group of
of course not. Of course
But
not.
like everybody, who's doing it.
Yeah, and then as I was thinking about what I just told you, dude, I started trying to remember. Like, when was the last time I heard a Hispanic kid victimize, like actively go into black neighborhoods to victimize people, right? And the last one I could remember, bro, was like and I'm being honest when I say this, was like in 2019. But the reason that Hispanic went into Blackistan was because he gunned down a Hispanic gang member and he fled the police into Blackistan where he crashed. But he even then he didn't really victimize black people. You know what I mean? He's just a
Yeah,
racist.
he didn't like run into a car full of newly married couple
Right.
with an infant and
He for
like
sure would
kill and
have.
maim them.
He would have. He was a clown. Don't get me wrong, but he
Yeah, I mean
did
only
it.
by
And
happenstance maybe.
and think about that. That was 2019, dude. You know, as a matter of fact, dude, that motherfucker, right, that I just described, actually killed a friend of mine, a high school friend of mine, right? Um, but
Wait, the Umbrito?
yeah, that umbrella that I just described, that he fled into Blackistan, fleeing from the police, who they apprehended him. But obviously, this being Ken Fox County, they couldn't charge him with it because what is justice, right, in Ken Fox County? But yeah, dude, I just had that thought, and I know, and I felt like you would understand me because you're here and you watch. You mentioned it one time how daily they put up the map of like all these robberies, like in Logan Square, Lincoln Park.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
fact that there's like 6 to 12 armed robberies nightly doesn't seem
right,
to phase or like far from being a problem even phase anyone.
right. It's like these guys are working like 8-hour shifts. Like it's
It's
pathetic,
not even
man.
quite like a casualty list because like at least that has some sort of gravitas behind it. This is treated more like the winds are high or low today. The tide is high or low.
Yeah, yeah. But again, you make an excellent point, dude. How even though everybody knows, we still cannot say it. You know, even though everybody fucking knows that it's black kids doing it, and let me be fair, it's also black men. It's not just their kids. But
And
we
they've known for
can't.
a long time. This really supports the argument that Ak makes here, that I think more people need to take heed of, which is that it's always been like this.
Yeah.
And we have a sort of like national racial memory as people,
Yes.
and like that understanding has been passed down from generation to generation. People call that racism, but in reality, like we know here, it's just that like, hey, we're noticing that this group has been murking people way out of proportion to
Yeah.
everybody else, since they arrived.
Yeah.
Damn near.
It's
It was
it's
like the other day when I had the statistics up from like the mid 20th century, right? I'm just fucking laughing my ass off. 1960 Suns are still murking gliders so far out
yeah.
of proportion, and like
Right.
what? While they're marching on the National Mall, they're also they're murking like
Yeah.
100.
Well,
Like it
it,
boggles the mind that people
it
don't
does.
understand. Like from 60 to 70, and in every decade before and after,
Yeah.
some people were.
And
I mean, they weren't
and
cutting
think
us no slack. Goddamn.
no, not at all. Even beyond that. And think about this, dude. Think about that. There was a guy on here at some point on this channel. The DJ guy, DJ Marvelous, I think was his name, that told me, well, what do you care about these black problems? Black problems? They're
It's a problem
victimizing
for everybody
everybody,
else too.
bro.
Goddamn.
So
Yeah, I hate that shit. Like,
unfortunately, bro, your problem happens to be my problem.
right when your stray bullets
Unfortunately,
start, hitting the train and shit, like
right?
among other
You're
things.
like, unfortunately, and again, dude, it doesn't. I don't get, my dick doesn't get hard speaking this fact, dude. It doesn't. If it would, I would be with a fucking endless boner, right? But
Yeah, I
when
love
they
having
put
an opinion that makes me anathema to like most of the country. Yeah, because I,
right,
am observing this phenomenon. I love that. It makes me so happy.
right, and it annoys me when I hear that. Like, well, what do you care? What do you mean? What the fuck do I care?
I have to live around it. I've lived around it my entire life,
Yeah, I have to
and
survive
like,
it.
maneuvered around it like a minefield.
And then you have this glider bitch talking about nothing.
Salute to Don McKee. Yeah, man. Don McKee with the raw report from Portland. I want somebody who believes this bitch.
Even Linwood couldn't tell you what the problem was because like we still haven't gotten to it from her. Like 30 seconds in, and there's not a fucking single detail about what actually happened here, which is indicative enough, I think.
Look,
several
if Linwood is
instances
not
of-
trolling, he's fucking retarded.
He's trolling, but he's also retarded.
Let's go here. Let's see what she got.
we had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us. And you think in our worlds, that in athletics and in university settings, it's shocking. In a like there's so much diversity on a college campus, and so you're just not exposed to that very often. And so when you are, it's like, and you have people say, "Man, I can't believe that happened," but
We got something in
racism
common.
is real, and it happens, and it's awful. And so for our players, whether they are white, black, green, whatever, no one knew how to handle it, and it was really upsetting. And for our players and staff to not feel safe in an NCAA tournament environment.
Not feeling safe in an NCAA tournament environment.
Like the environs of the arena in Memphis.
Not feeling. See, this is the thing about it. No fucking coach said anything about what's going on in Memphis at the NCAA tournament in Memphis. No coach spoke about that.
At this point, I feel like they could shoot one of the players outside of the game and they still wouldn't say anything about it.
Most likely wouldn't say a thing about it, man. Most likely. But this chick is we don't know what she's talking about. What is she talking about? Woman, what happened?
I thought we might get to it in the next 30 seconds, but goddamn.
Listen, if it's so bad, it should be easy to explain, man. It should be easy to explain, man, if it's that bad. Like, for instance, let me show you something, white woman. Let me show you something right quick, white woman. This is in a black city, not Coeur d'Alene. That's 100% white. This is in a black city.
One man has been shot. Just got the shooting right here on Bball.
Safety concerns after that deadly shooting on Beale Street last weekend. So thousands of people are coming into Memphis for March Madness. Memphis police have released a new safety plan. So Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre, who's covered a lot of incidents, violent incidents downtown and break-ins and stuff, joins us live with more. Do you think this plan is enough?
Well, here's the thing. Memphis police think it is enough. It will be enough. But what's to say? It's never too much, right? For
Yo, what the fuck? This nigga, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga, man? DEI, man, y'all gotta stop this DEI shit, man.
Well, here's the thing. Memphis police think it is enough. It will be enough. But what's to say? It's never too much, right? For sure. This safety plan coming into play a weekend after a man is shot and killed on Beale Street. Now, the thing is, the police presence wasn't the case last week. The absence of police wasn't the case because this man shot and killed feet away from a Memphis police officer here on Beale Street. The thing was, the weapon actually on the street. Now, this new safety.
Yo, this brother's high, man.
It does go into detail as to explaining how Memphis police will be patrolling. Additional officers will be patrolling on mounted and bikes, those mounted police officers. Now, what else is going to be into play is basically additional presence of the Blue Suede Brigade. What this plan does say is that there will be additional basically screening to get onto Bill. It doesn't specifically say.
Yo, so they said basically they had a plan because I can't listen to him anymore. They had a plan because they knew niggas was gonna be down there acting like assholes. So they preemptively made a plan. With they gonna have a ton of police down there when the NCAA tournament came. That story was before the NCAA tournament.
That was some hard hitting
Niggas,
reporting.
Sons gonna act like assholes. We gonna flood the area down by this arena with cops. So make sure nothing happens. Here goes what happened.
Thousands of people nationwide are in downtown Memphis for March Madness.
I was going for any team that was red, but 3 of them lost. So I guess I'm just going for Houston now. They're the only red team left.
It's a lighter blood here.
Only people swarming downtown. Tourists we spoke to say Memphis police officers were seen on every corner. Last week, MPD announced they were enhancing security protocols throughout downtown to ensure everyone's safety. David Cortez says while he found comfort in seeing the massive law enforcement presence, he was skeptical.
That's something that made us feel safe, that we saw policemen like every single corner and everywhere. But
now, in a white city, you don't need police on every corner to keep people safe. When there's a game, press 1.
At the same time, seeing so many police officers, because we were like, okay, is something going on? Do we need to like change streets or something, or what's going on?
And a few people we spoke to had similar questions when they noticed a large presence in the 100 block of Peabody Place early Sunday morning. MPD says officers responded to a shooting. The 31-year-old victim was taken to the hospital by private vehicle. Police say he is in non-critical condition. It's the third shooting to take place in the downtown area this week. Friday morning, officers responded to a shooting at an apartment complex near the FedEx Forum. Police say a man was shot following an argument with an acquaintance over loud music. And last weekend, a man was shot and killed on Beale Street.
So, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where all this racism is supposed to be happening, where this white bitch is talking about all this racism, you don't have this shit. You don't have to do this. You don't have to have any police anywhere in Coeur d'Alene because those people know how to act. They're not savages. You go to a black city, you need cops on every corner, and there's still shootings right down by the stadium with cops on every corner.
I mean, if some people came in mass to Coeur d'Alene, they would need the same thing. So,
facts. This is what I'm talking about. No coach spoke on this. None of the coaches spoke on this. None of them. None of the coaches spoke on this. None of them. White city, the ship don't hit the fucking bridge and knock it down. Yeah, worry about that shit in the white city.
was Mineral Ridge, and they're beautiful hiking trails, and it's just a great mix of nature and industry.
Yeah, they got a monkey on the side of the building. Tell me that some people don't live there without telling me.
Coeur d'Alene's also a very physically active city. There's hiking trails and bike trails everywhere. It's awesome.
How are the amenities?
Look at these white people living their life out here in this city, not knowing that they're being branded as racist now. Although on the internet, this whole town is being deemed as racist. It's not just the ones who said something to her. The entire town is racist now. And you don't have to have a cop on every. Yo, who keeps doing
That's
that?
Good
afternoon.
You have to mute,
Okay,
brother.
we gotta
You have a
get
bad echo.
him out of there. Yeah.
That was Ben from Wisconsin, the one that got a hot
Do you
date.
know him?
Yeah, that's
You
the
know
guy that
him?
got a.
Yeah, he was
that's
on
the
last
guy that got
night.
a date. He got a date.
Yo,
the
you
other
gotta
night.
stop doing that shit, man, Ben.
Turn
Don't
your
do that shit
sound off
again,
when
man.
you turn your mic on.
Don't
if
do
you
that
can.
shit again, man. You fucking. The fuck is wrong with you, man? Don't do that shit again, man. Salute to Don McKee, man. He said, in my last video, I also met another well-to-do son, man, that was in the process of purchasing a local famous bed and breakfast in Coeur d'Alene. Uh-oh, y'all letting Sun people come up there. Look at that food. Looks delicious. What a nice place, man. And Sons have branded this place racist off of just the words of that white woman. And we still don't know what that white woman is talking about. We have no clue what she's talking about.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of video evidence, right? From all
Right.
their cell phones.
Yeah. Because, they pull out a cell phone if they see a cute dog. They pull out a cell phone if they see a person trip up. If somebody trips over their fucking feet and falls down, black people pull out their cell phone and post that shit on the fucking internet. So we should see some cell phone footage, man.
Might be easier to list what they don't pull them out for.
Let's see what this white bitch is talking about. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch?
We had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us. And you think in our worlds, in athletics and in university settings, it's shocking. In a like there's so much diversity on a college campus, and so you're just not exposed to that very often. And so when you are, it's like, and you have people say, "Man, I can't believe that happened," but racism is real, and it happens, and it's awful. And so for our players, whether they are white, black, green, whatever, no one knew how to handle it, and it was really upsetting. And for our players and staff to not feel safe in an NCAA tournament environment, it's messed up. And so we moved hotels, and the NCAA and Gonzaga worked to get us in a new hotel, and we appreciate that. But yeah, that's what happened, and it was a distraction and upsetting and unfortunate. This should be a positive for everybody involved. This should be a joyous time for our program, and to have kind of a black eye on that experience is unfortunate.
So no comment from any of the coaches that played games in Memphis. None of the coaches who had games in Memphis spoke a word about all the shootings down by the stadium where they were playing at. But this bitch is talking about some fucking random. Let's see if we can find out something. She didn't say anything. Let's see if we can find out if there's any kind of racism going on down here, man. Let's see. What do we got here? Okay, here we go.
Yes, you're out of order.
Chaos in Idaho after racism allegations gained national attention during the March Madness tournament.
Racism is real, and it happens, and it's awful.
It's not the first time we've had something like this happen.
We do have breaking news at this hour. The University of Utah women's basketball team is alleging racist hate crimes during their visit to Coeur d'Alene this past week. The basketball team was playing in Spokane for the women's March Madness
tournament. Look at this shit, man. Not a word from any coach about what's happening in Memphis. Not a fucking word.
At Gonzaga University. And according to Utah staff, the hate crimes occurred on their first day in Idaho. They then moved hotels 24 hours later. Hi, everyone. So good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti.
You know, we had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program.
Certainly, it is not the attention any city or region wants during March Madness. The national spotlight shifting from basketball to racist actions. We begin coverage in Coeur d'Alene.
Allegedly. Where's the allegedly, man? Why is this bitch not saying allegedly?
Where KREM 2's Channing Curtis was just inside a media conference.
Oh, God.
Channing,
they got a black news anchor in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, of course. I mean, are there any white news anchors left? Or field reporters, at least.
And look at her. She loves this. She loves this because she get to say this why she ain't get a promotion, or this why she not like the biggest, best anchor in Idaho. She's loving this.
Got fairly intense at one point, but the reality is that the investigation is ongoing. We don't know a lot, but you can tell us what has been confirmed.
We don't know a lot.
Yeah, that's a trend that I'm seeing here.
Oh,
definitely a come up for the sister in little Coeur d'Alene, though.
Oh my God, man, we don't know a lot. Okay,
tell me something. Tell me something we do know or don't know. Shit.
Absolutely, Laura. You're exactly right. We don't have a lot of information, but here is what we know right now. What we learned from this press conference was that around 6 p.m. on Thursday, Coeur d'Alene police got a call from one of the Utah women's basketball team major donors. That donor then told police what happened from these team members. And apparently, allegedly, what happened.
Hold on, man.
Apparently, allegedly.
I thought you was gonna tell us what happened. That's what the news anchor said. God damn it! And you're the only black. You're making black anchors look really bad right now, or black field reporters. God damn.
What did happen? I just got here. What can someone fill me in?
No, we don't know yet.
Nobody
man.
knows.
Oh, okay. So in other words, nothing happened.
Thing.
Salute to Bball, man. Bball coming through. Let's see, man. All right, what happened?
What has been confirmed?
Absolutely, Laura. You're exactly right. We don't have a lot of information, but here is what we know right now. What we learned from this press conference was that around 6 p.m. on Thursday, Coeur d'Alene police got a call from one of the Utah women's basketball team major donors. That donor then told police what happened from these team members. And apparently, allegedly, what happened then was team members said that around this time, they were walking to Crafted, which is a restaurant just up the street here from the Coeur d'Alene Resort, when they heard a person driving a truck by who revved their engine and sped past them. At that time, right after then, the trucks then drove back, turned around and started yelling racial slurs at the team. Now, of course, this is something that definitely shook up the team.
So yeah, yelling the racial slurs, no hard evidence, no video, no audio, nothing.
Yeehaw! Red pickup trucks.
Listen to your neighbor. You better turn right around and get the fuck out of our town. You know what's good for you.
Meanwhile, in Memphis, it's the Wild West down by the fucking stadium and shit. Bodies are dropping. And
well documented on video, by the way.
Police on every corner. Every single corner, they got cops patrolling. It's basically a police state, and bodies are still dropping, and not one coach has got on a microphone and said a word about it.
Thank God for the restraint of sisters that, you know, would never pull out their phones and start recording for no reason at all.
Unfucking believable.
When they heard a person driving a truck by who revved their engine and sped past them. At that time, after them, the trucks then drove back, turned around and started yelling racial slurs at the team. Now, of course, this is something that definitely shook up the team. The donor then told police it was something that they were definitely wanting to press charges on. They just needed to gather more information. That's exactly what police are working to do right now. This investigation is ongoing. And here's actually what the chief of police of Coeur d'Alene had to say during that press conference.
Our police department was contacted at approximately 10 p.m. on the 21st about an incident that occurred approximately 4 hours earlier. It is reported that a vehicle drove by and several racial slurs were yelled by the occupants of the vehicles. At the time of the report, we were unable to speak to any of the potential victims of the incident, nor were we able to locate individuals who yelled the racial slurs.
So the team's not talking to the cops, and they... Why is the team not talking to the cops? Why are the players not talking to the cops?
Yeah, I guess what Linwood wants us to believe is in this bastion of white supremacy, the white supremacy is so strong that the baseless, proofless, utterly, you know, unverifiable accusations of like one or two sisters, I assume, on the Utah team, I don't know how many are on there, maybe there's more, but is enough to, you know, grind this small white supremacist town to a halt, but also like, you know, capture the attention of the entire white supremacist nation.
Right. I mean, it's just insane, man. They should be down at the police station giving statements. I just don't get this, man. Where are y'all? What are y'all doing? Like, are y'all playing games 24/7, or y'all play the game and then the game's over and then they lost. That's right. I'm looking at their team. They have 1, 2, 3. They got three sisters and a Hispanic, and the rest of them white girls. So 3 sisters and a hombrito.
Lord have mercy. Imagine giving a shit about basketball. Respect to everybody who's involved in basketball, but goddamn.
Wasn't there one with like a basketball college game where they were yelling Cougar, and
that was BYU. That was last year.
It was like a
or 2 years ago. I think that might have been 2 years ago now. Wow. And the girl lied. Yeah, the girl lied about it. Yeah, that was
the Coeur d'Alene Police Department has an open case in this matter, and detectives are attempting to speak with any victims of this incident. But so far, we don't know exactly who that may be. It was initially...
Yo, what the fuck? The news anchors are not saying alleged race incident. They're not using the word alleged. They're saying it as if it happened, but nobody from the team has spoken to the police.
And listen to the description of the truck that they're using, a red pickup.
Yeehaw! Rebel Yale.
I think it had a Confederate flag.
On the 21st, about an incident that occurred approximately 4 hours earlier.
And this is on the 21st. Remember, this happened on the 21st. It's 12 o'clock. It's the 27th. It's the 27th. This happened on the 21st, and no players have spoken with the police yet. And listen, look at the poll. The poll I put up, only 83% of the people 83% of the 84% of the people think the bitch is lying. There's 14% of the people, 16% of the people that still think this bitch might be telling the truth. It happened on the 21st. No players have spoken with the team. They can't, because remember, they have cameras everywhere. This is the fastest growing city in the country. They must have had cameras of this truck going down the street, right? Nothing.
Could she possibly be using this as an excuse since they lost?
Yeah, I think so too. Women are crazy like this. Women are crazy because the BYU girl, the black girl who claimed racism at BYU a couple years ago, she played terrible that game, and she was the reason they lost. And then after the game, she cried racism.
On the 21st, about an incident that occurred approximately 4 hours earlier. It is reported that a vehicle drove by and several racial slurs were yelled by the occupants of the vehicles. At the time of the report, we were unable to speak to any of the potential victims of the incident, nor were we able to locate individuals who yelled the racial slurs. The Coeur d'Alene Police Department has an open case in this matter, and detectives are attempting to speak with any victims of this incident. But so far, we don't know exactly who that may be. It was initially reported that there was approximately 100 people who were in the vicinity of the incident when it occurred.
The real crime is the lack of information in this report.
And
all these people should be locked up.
My problem is them not using the word allegedly. You have to use allegedly when this happened 7 days ago and no one from the team has talked. There were 100 people there. No one has said anything that they saw anything. You got cameras everywhere. We have no footage of this red truck. You have to use the word allegedly. Press 1.
So again, police are saying that they are still waiting to hear from all of those victims involved regarding what happened. Now, they are also working with the FBI on any potential charges that could come from this incident.
The FBI is in Idaho over this, not in Memphis, over the 3 shootings by the fucking stadium with a cop on every corner in Memphis.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
I assume to make sure that the victims are silenced forever so that they can't speak out anymore, right? Drag them to a black site.
Jeez.
So again, police are saying that they are still waiting to hear from all of those victims involved regarding what happened. Now, they are also working with the FBI on any potential charges that could come from this incident. In the meantime, during that same press conference, the mayor spoke. We also spoke to officials here at the Coeur d'Alene Resort, as well as the Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations, who issued their own statement and also had this to say during the press conference as well.
The players were so traumatized by this encounter that they had, and they got back to the hotel. They told the coaches and staff, and on Friday some of them left for Spokane, the others left on Saturday when hotel rooms were available in that city.
Thanks, Peter Rabbit.
Now, again, we also learned during this time that in addition to Utah moving to another hotel, UC Irvine's team was also notified of the situation and made the decision to also relocate from the Coeur d'Alene Resort and move to a hotel in Spokane.
Wow, and you know what's really fucked up? The city didn't comp them the nicest hotel and the nicest room and the finest foods, and didn't. That's even more racist.
We still listen. It's not that we still don't know what happened. No one knows what happened. If this had happened 30 minutes ago, we're supposed to know what happened.
The finest scientific minds could not yet divine what happened here, it seems.
This happened 7 days ago.
But you know what?
Now, this, of course, is a developing situation.
I may be alone in this, right? But if something did happen, if somebody was talking shit, I still don't think it's a huge deal, personally, right?
Exactly.
Unless they crossed a certain line, then, but just saying, you fucking speak, that's not, it sucks, but give me a break.
The FBI? Come on.
Right.
National news. This is national news right now.
And we are working incredibly hard together.
And I promise you, this is going to come down on Caitlin Clark. They're going to say what Caitlin Clark is. She's going to have to make a statement denouncing this. Promise you, she's going to have to make a statement denouncing
her silence is violence.
The very latest information for you all. We'll continue bringing that to you here on the Crim 2 News at noon, as well as our website, crim.com. Reporting in Coeur d'Alene, I'm Shannon Curtis, Crim 2 News.
Now, last night after the game, the Utah head coach spoke out for the first time about this harassment. Here's what she had to say.
No one knew how to handle it, And it was really upsetting. And for our players and staff to not feel safe in an NCAA tournament environment, it's messed up. But yeah, that's what happened. And it was a distraction and upsetting and unfortunate.
Gonzaga also releasing a statement about the incident, making this statement late last night. It read in part, quote, hate speech in any form is repugnant.
So this is another school that wasn't there, that didn't see. This statement is from another university team who was not there. Not the team, not her team.
Yeah. Do you know where they're located? Maybe we could visit them and see how diverse it is.
Her team has not made a statement. Another university is making a statement, and they're putting that statement from another university of players who were not there at the incident. Think about that. That's fucking insane. Some random school released a statement about the incident that these bitches don't want to talk about.
Unfortunate.
Gonzaga also releasing a statement about the incident, making this statement late last night. It read in part, quote, hate speech in any form is repugnant, shameful, and must never be tolerated. It went on to say, quote, we are frustrated and deeply saddened to know that what should be always an amazing visitor and championship experience was in any way compromised by this situation. The NCAA also releasing a statement on the situation to Krem 2, saying in part, quote,
we
when
get
the
president on
NCAA
this
was made
too?
aware of the incident, we
Biden
worked
release
closely
anything
with
on this?
I would not be surprised. Listen, it's election season. This is great. Racism is always great for Democrats because racism is always thrown in the lap of Republicans. Anytime racism happens, it's a Republican thing. It don't matter who does it. Republicans are the racist. So that's where it's going to fall back on Republicans.
Well,
So
come on, Rock, it was a truck.
Biden might. There's like a 70% chance he'll make a statement on this.
Gonzaga to immediately provide additional increased security for the team while we figured out next steps. It goes on to say the entire Gonzaga administration was deeply disturbed by this event and were tremendous partners in helping to identify solutions so participating teams could feel safe. They also went on to say the women were placed in Coeur d'Alene originally because of low availability of rooms in Spokane, because so much was going on, including the men's tournament and other events that were in town. Once the men's team started leaving, they were able then to move women into the hotels in Spokane. And then less than 2 hours ago, Idaho Governor Brad Little released a statement as well, saying in part, quote, we fully reject racism in all of its forms. We condemn bullies who seek to harass and silence others.
All this for a sport where black women routinely practice grotesque violence on the court. Get the fuck out of here.
Allegations of racism perpetrated against the Utah women's basketball team over the weekend.
Utah head coach Lynn Roberts says that her players suffered racial attacks at this tournament while staying in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It is drawing widespread criticism from all across the political and the sports worlds. We do have team coverage tonight. Shelby Lofton is tracking reaction. Let's start things off with Shara Park with the latest on the investigation. Shara, what are you learning?
Mike and Dini, not only is the Coeur d'Alene, Idaho Police Department investigating the harassment of our University of Utah players, but the FBI is also involved in this. This team was staying in Coeur d'Alene, which is about 40 minutes from Spokane, where the first rounds of the NCAA tournament were being played due to overcrowding at the hotels there. Well, on Thursday night, as players were walking to dinner, a truck drove up next to them, revved its engine, and someone started yelling racial slurs.
Allegedly. And make sure you hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. The only place you're going to get this. Everybody else falling for this shit. Hook, line, and sinker, man. It's the only place you're going to get the truth, man. Hit the like button. Support the channel. PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Salute to BIPOC Shakur, man. He says, someone said the son word and only the sisters heard it. So everyone else on the team is deaf. Okay, fair enough. Nah, the other white chicks is imagining this shit too. They all listen. They haven't spoken to the cops in 7 days. There's a reason for that. It's a reason they haven't spoken to the cops in 7 days because they don't have to. Look, the less they say, you heard the coach talk. The only reason we don't believe it now is because she opened her big mouth. If they all keep their mouth shut, the people will make this a big thing, and this will take on a life of its own. Once one of them speaks and gets in front of a camera and starts talking and fumbling and bumbling and lying and shit, that's going to ruin it.
Slurs. Witnesses reported that as the group was leaving dinner, a second vehicle became involved, and this time threats were made towards the players. Now, due to safety concerns, the team asked to move to a hotel closer to Spokane. Today, the mayor of Coeur d'Alene described the behavior of those in the vehicle as appalling and unacceptable, and he offered an apology to the University of Utah players.
To the young women who endured racial slurs while visiting, I offer my most sincere apology. We, all of us, stand with you. We embrace you. We celebrate your accomplishments and strongly denounce any malicious treatment towards you.
The Coeur d'Alene police chief today said officers are working with businesses in the area where the women were walking to get their security videos, hoping to identify the vehicles involved. They're also in the process of talking with witnesses, getting their statements, saying over 100 people were in the area when that happened. Now, if the police and the FBI can get those involved, they can track them down. There are potential charges they could face, including malicious harassment and disorderly conduct. The police chief says
disorderly
there's also
conduct.
a federal
The
charge.
FBI always gets involved in that.
Disorderly conduct.
When you get rowdy at Mardi Gras, it's the FBI that comes in and
You
arrests
should
you.
have the
over
black.
street.
Yeah, when you should have the black.
Men's basketball team, they won their first
Yeah.
game of the NCAA Tournament. And last night, they sadly lost their second game to Gonzaga while playing in Spokane, Washington. As a town, Spokane ran out of room in their hotels. So the U's women's team stayed in a hotel in Coeur
It's the
d'Alene,
team that
Idaho.
played them that
That's
put out
about
the
30
statement.
miles
They
away.
wanted to get out of
That's
the
when
line of
team
fire.
says they were the target of racism. Head coach Lynn Roberts says it started when the team was walking to a local restaurant. They say a driver of a truck with a Confederate flag began
There you go.
spewing.
Oh, I knew it. I called it. I called
The
it.
person brought along friends and then started.
Idaho's got lots of that.
Restaurant. All of them yelling slurs,
Deep
and
in Dixie, Idaho.
mentions, throwing out the N-word. Coach Roberts addressed it at a press conference. Take a listen.
For our players, whether they are, white, black, green, whatever, no one knew how to handle it, and it was really upsetting. And for our players and staff to not feel safe in an NCAA tournament environment, it's messed up. But yeah, that's what happened, and it was a distraction and upsetting and unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes you sick, right? I think that still goes on, and of course they're there to, play
Which is the
their
green race again?
sport, and something that they've always dreamt about doing, and then they have to deal with that. That's a distraction. Coeur d'Alene officials held a press conference today about this, apologizing to the U and condemning racism in their community. People have been talking about this all day, and we went up to the U to hear what students had to say. Take a listen.
I think it's sad
Smash.
because at the end of the day, racism is a taught behavior. It's not acceptable behavior. We're all adults and should be.
So this is disgusting to have people commented on something that hasn't been proven yet. Yo, this is absolutely disgusting.
I mean, this wouldn't be as bad for me, if Thunderstand wasn't on fire,
Hey, look, to be fair, they would have very strong statements on, Republicans and the NRA and guns, if they were asked about the shootings in Memphis. So
That's fair.
But they won't be asked about. Nobody was asked anything.
There's no danger of that.
No coaches said anything. Yo, bodies are dropping like literally blocks from the stadium with cops on every corner because they feared that bodies would drop. on the stadium, and not one person involved with any NCAA team has said a word about it. Not one.
Because at the end of the day, racism is a taught behavior. It's not acceptable behavior. We're all adults and should be acting like adults.
It's terrible. It's something that shouldn't be happening. It's like they're there
Allegedly.
to just play the game and have fun and also compete.
Yeah, a lot of people are condemning the team and coaches for speaking out about this. Salt Lake Mayor Mendenhall says the city supports them, also saying, quote, across history, women have been driving forces for change. Today is no different, and this team is made of incredible athletes who embody this.
Yeah, so
now they're heroes for allegedly being called names
Yeah,
by
get the ticker tape parade ready when they get back to Salt Lake City. They're just like the astronauts.
Oh, shit.
For that, very important, but it's just really sad that this happened to them. And
I also am just curious, though. They're supposed to be in Spokane, and I guess
they were so far
away. There wasn't enough hotel rooms. They weren't even in Spokane. They were in another state. So I believe they had security, but it was the state of Washington security, and they couldn't go over, state lines. And so there's a lot of questions I have for the NCAA, of course. A lot other questions.
well,
as
the
well,
tournament was
why?
being held when there was a massive volleyball tournament. So hotel rooms were already booked up. And so there was just an overcrowding situation.
They found them, though, once that incident happened, though,
Yeah. It's we'll have to see
It's
how
all
this plays out.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Jesus
Bars in
Christ.
hell.
Yo.
For many things.
I can't wait to see what Stephen A. and them say about
Oh,
this.
yeah, of course.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh,
I didn't think we'd
God.
be back here having this conversation again so soon.
I need a raise because this happened and
Absolutely unacceptable.
Oh my God, man. Are you serious?
That recent news out of Coeur d'Alene is just one recent example of allegations of racism in the Gem State. Our Jude Binkley spoke to a local business owner who says he was the subject of a racist encounter over the weekend. Jude, what do you know?
Well, Morgan, that type of rhetoric we're hearing about in Coeur d'Alene extends beyond northern Idaho, including into our communities right here in the Treasure Valley.
Thank you. I got a 5618 altogether. Yeah. Perfect, thank you.
These store shelves are a time machine to the past, tucked in Meridian, where Dave Bazan has raised his family.
I think 15 years ago, as he moved out here.
And built his business, Time Zone Toys.
It's a small toy community. The same people go. There's only like 3 shops like this. So everybody knows everyone.
Or almost everyone. Bazan showed KTVB security video from over the weekend where a man was joking about stealing from his store.
It got a little too much.
Bazan confronted the customer, who we observed turned to using several racist remarks and slurs.
It was disgusting to see, somebody just go straight there, and for no reason at all, to go to a race card like that.
Bazan did not want to broadcast the security footage, but KTVB saw it and can confirm the details.
I wonder why.
Let me find out it was a sun, man.
I wonder why.
Probably a glider, but
Well, no, it was either son, man, or what he said wasn't a racial slur. It was probably like probably called him ugly or something, or said he had big ears or some stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It said like it could be construed as a racial slur. Yo, man.
got the video, but we're not going to show it.
That's the same thing they're going to say when they find video of those girls.
Yeah, it's too traumatizing. We can't broadcast that.
Out stealing from his store.
It got a little too much.
Bazan confronted the customer, who we observed turned to using several racist remarks and slurs.
It was disgusting to see, somebody just go straight there, and for no reason at all, to go to a race card like that.
Bazan did not want to
Goddamn
broadcast
filthy
the security
Brave Patel,
footage,
give me my
but
Funko Pop.
KTVB saw it and can confirm the details of his story. Bazan says this isn't the first time he's dealt with racist remarks at his business, but he's trying not to be angry or too upset over what happened.
I mean, like, is that going to make anything better? You know, it's just like the world's messed up right now as it is. But to me, going to fight over my skin color, what he thought of me, he had in his mind before he walked in the shop. He already didn't like me. He already didn't respect me.
Jesus Christ, man. Don't give yourself that much credit, man. Like, come on, man. This is narcissism, man. Like, he wanted to steal something. You caught him. You had an argument, and he called you Four Eyes. And since Native Americans are disproportionately have bad vision,
And they've been cut out of, you know, optical healthcare.
Yeah, man.
They have probably
By me
more than
standing up
some
to
people.
him and not dealing with that, he decided to just go straight to the, you have those insults, you know what I mean?
So there's a heavier weight to these kinds of incidents and these kinds.
Look at the standard. White people are like, yo, y'all little town is like a utopia. And now the world is descended on it. And it's like this crazy, violent place where nobody's safe. And it's literally like the safest place in the country.
It's a sundown town.
Crazy.
Kinds of words.
ACLU of Idaho Communications Director Rebecca De Leon says racism is a problem that's been prevalent in Idaho for a long time.
Black and brown people and now LGBTQ people also most specifically have been
they're a race too
scapegoated
now,
as
I
like
guess.
they're the problem of everything.
She says there is systemic racism
specifically.
in Idaho being reinforced by policy, culture, rhetoric.
There's systemic racism in Idaho.
Racism in Idaho being reinforced by policy, culture, rhetoric, and law.
Idaho has not shown the leadership that is required to tear down racism. In fact, it has been
They don't have enough programs and enough DEI. They don't have enough DEI to give black people a fucking head start and a fucking leg up on white people so they can fucking come on and take over the fucking town with their DEI bullshit.
Hey, Ike, have we gone to the Idaho Gun Memorial?
Yeah, we need to do that. We're gonna do that next, man.
going actively in the wrong direction. So we need to have a very serious conversation within ourselves, ask ourselves, why are we okay with these kinds of things being supported and being said? Why do we not speak out against them?
It doesn't seem like anybody's okay with it.
Simply,
it's just be nice. I mean, there's not a reason to judge anybody on where they're from.
De Leon says she wouldn't say racism in Idaho is stronger or worse than it's been in the past, but it does look different now. Morgan, she says it goes through iterations and really flares up when marginalized groups fight for equal rights.
Yeah, and when the election comes around too.
Exactly.
Really flares up then.
So let's go to the Idaho Gun Memorial, man. Hit the like button, man. We're going for 500 likes tonight. Salute to Eric S. Op Nation Hall of Fame coming through once again, man. Oh yeah, it's 12:30. I think I need to go. Members only, man.
My eyes. I gotta put on my sunglasses here. My glider.
Yeah, this is the Gun Memorial, man.
Oh wow, dude. Interesting. But I'm sure it's like what, like this is for like the decade? This is it?
Well, I mean, so 2024.
After the first line, you're in 2023. Oh wait, yes. Halfway into the first line, you're in 2020. Back in 2023.
It does feel weird, I have to admit, to see the gun memorial and it looked like this.
Whoa, Rio Keanu Charging Horse Ramirez.
Who?
The
guy with the get up. You don't see him?
With the feathers, with the chief. Yo, it can't just be me, right? That thinks it looks weird, like all gliders out here.
Oh man, he shot himself.
Yeah, he accidentally shot himself. But but
what a name.
Here's the thing, though. Where all the dead black people, man, that got shot by racist people in
Oh, there's
in Idaho.
that or something.
Here we
The
go.
sunglasses. Oh, there you
Police murder suspect leads car chase and trimmed him. Spits at deputies during arrest.
Oh, that wouldn't be James Chance spitting, would it? Is
There you
that
go.
who died from the gun violence?
Yeah, it says the victim. Oh, okay. So it says police have arrested a man for murdering someone in Idaho and fleeing the state of Utah. Fleeing the state for Utah. Police have identified the suspect as 21-year-old Christopher Williams from Philadelphia.
Wow.
Some flavor. Some flavor, Fido.
Wow.
The victim is 21-year-old James Daniel Chance. Authorities found him in Nampa, Idaho apartment with multiple gunshot wounds on his body. He was transferred to a local hospital where he died from his injuries. The incident happened on September 17th when the victim in Idaho, Williams, stole the victim's truck and fled to Utah. Deputies first responded to calls of Williams driving erratically and suspected he was drunk. Authorities tried pulling him over as he entered the highway on-ramp, but Williams stepped on the gas and sped away, topping speeds of 100 miles per hour. During the pursuit, police say Williams crashed his car and began fleeing on foot. Authorities were able to capture him after holding him at gunpoint. While being handcuffed and taken into custody, Williams spat at the deputies and physically struck two other deputies. During the search, Williams' truck, officers discovered 4 rifles, a handgun, and an open container of alcohol. So, yeah, he got killed by a dude from Philly in Idaho. At the time of the arrest, Williams had a conviction for a qualifying violent felony out of South Carolina. The suspect has been arrested on 13 charges, including possession of firearm by a restricted person, theft of receiving property, and 3 counts of propelling a bodily substance at an officer.
Check the link in the back. It's very relevant.
Wow.
What is it?
Hold on, man. So
wait for it.
Oh. Let's see. This is it. Oh,
You
man.
gotta be kidding me. I saw it. You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta close the little thing there, hit the X. Top right.
Drum roll.
Man,
See
where is it?
Blue X right next to
It's up to your right,
KTVB7 to the right.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, this right here. Yeah, right there. All right.
Drum roll.
Suspect in Nampa shooting. So that's Christopher Williams, man, from Philly. I mean, when they said Philly, we already knew.
I mean, I was
spitting at
expecting
the officer,
worse.
carjacking, this, that, third.
Yeah, he probably was on the run.
I was
Not
expecting
probably,
worse,
he
to be
was.
honest. This is pretty standard right here, actually. This is nothing.
So the one Sun man to get murdered in Idaho in 3 years is, of course,
Hey.
killed by another Sun man who carjacked him.
From
Or
Philly.
From
carjacked
Philadelphia. Not even an Idaho Sun man, a Sun man from Philadelphia.
Yo, Idaho sounds pretty safe. Like,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
man. Very safe, man.
I wonder why.
They're being branded as racists all over the fucking news, all over the fucking place, man. And this is disgusting, man. This is disgusting. Fascist white nationalists and monarchist Dave Riley and the Idaho Freedom Foundation disrupted a press conference about racism faced by a black person just trying to exist in public. Tell me again how your buddy Dave is in a racist piece of shit. It says, Idaho sounds like a terrible place. Stay away from it at all costs. They are racist, sexist, and anti-gay. So I just stay away and don't go there. Also, if you're not one of those things, you should leave too. Protect yourself.
Wow, it sounds like it'll be a great
Wow,
place to
sounds
move
heavenly.
to. It sounds pretty heavenly, dude. Wow.
Contradicting yourself. How you going to ban diversity statements in Idaho, then speak out against racism? It's giving performative. Being from the Nimpu tribe, I have been experiencing this shit since I was a kid. Idaho is racist, period.
We was original Idahoans.
North Idaho is so racist that a Christian university in Washington feels the need to apologize for it. And you wonder why young people don't stay in the Intermountain West after they get their degree.
Wow.
Yeah, man. This is why some people, man, just 3 girls on the team with sons, and they came to the state literally on a fluke because they couldn't stay in the near Gonzaga, Spokane. So they stayed in the next city because there was too many things going on in Spokane, and they stayed in Coeur d'Alene just for one night and caused a racial uproar in that city that is going to have this city branded as racist forever. This city is now racist forever. There's no way out of this. When some people claim you're racist, it is forever. They're still talking about Tulsa. Tulsa, you want to see the Tulsa Gun Memorial? Who want to see the Tulsa Gun Memorial where they talk about racism every day in Tulsa? About the
I, for
fucking
one, would love to.
I mean, it doesn't look like Idaho, does it?
Nah, man. It's way more. Like Idaho was averaging like 6 or 7 a year. 6 or 7 a year. Let's go to Tulsa,
I
man.
can't even imagine what that looks like.
Where they talk about racism every fucking day.
And the main talking point is what? Black
It's a little more
Wall Street.
diverse.
Yeah, it's very diverse.
It's like a nice, healthy diversity going on here. Not too
Who
much of
killed
anything.
these white people? Who killed these white people?
Sunman.
In Tulsa.
Sunman.
One can only imagine.
Well, I said we find out. Click on pick a glider.
Let me see. Let me see a glider, man.
Grab a glider off the list real quick.
Up above the head.
7-year-old who shot and killed 18-year-old in Tulsa charged.
Danger, Will
17
Robinson.
years old. Yeah, context clues.
Let's see. A 17-year-old arrested for shooting McGregor. So